CRISPR Roots 28 is where we find ourselves. The July 4th edition. And I've got a couple of, even though it's, July 8th now. But these would have been released on July 5th or in the last week or so. Josh Morningstar. Title of the album is the name of the artist. And Jesse Wells. Hells Wells. They're both in some sense, in part, or in Wells's case, maybe completely, about the meaning of America. So maybe they're July 4th appropriate. Or post-July 4th appropriate. Now, Jesse Wells is about the most political folk country blues singer that you could ever imagine. Every song on here is political. Some are also more personal than others or develop characters and so on. But a lot of this album, Hells Wells, which really is very good, I say, it's a kind of agitprop. And here's some stuff I like about it. Okay, so, I mean, obviously self-consciously in the tradition of Woody Guthrie, Phil Oakes, Billy Bragg, sort of a man with his guitar telling you what is happening, like reading you the news. And he does this more explicitly than anyone, really. And it's right now, man. He's rapping about IDF and Netanyahu. He's rapping about this election cycle. He's rapping about Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson. Right? Rapping, not rapping. He's singing. I could see finding that, agitprop music really irritating. I didn't expect to like it when I cottoned on to what it was, when I heard what it was. Someone got me on this on Twitter. I should look it up and credit. But the melodies are excellent, really catchy, and like interestingly and ironically connected to the lyrics. The lyrics are super direct, and I guess if you're going to do it, you might as well just do it, man. Like, here's a political song. I'm not pretending it's about something else, all right? And really well played. I feel like he's an excellent finger-picking bluesy guitar player, and also a really fine harmonica player, supposedly on a rack, but actually I don't think you can play it quite like that on a rack, so I feel like it's overdone. But some people are amazing on a rack. All right, a harp rack. Let's try a couple pieces. Another thing I want to say about both Josh Morningstar and Jesse Wells is that they're writers. And so that's what I want to emphasize. Writers. So let's just try this. Again, it's a kind of thing. He's got my son-in-law's politics, a kind of radical progressivism of now, a radical anti-capitalism of now. Like, I'm not saying that this is my politics, all right? Although this politics makes lots of good points about our nation and stuff. In both these cases, I'm going to let them play a little longer. I'm tempted to play whole songs because they are so written. When you start playing whole songs, you start even running into worse copyright problems with your distributing your podcast. But at any rate, I don't think Jesse Wells is going to be on me copyright-wise, somehow. How about this? Slaves by Jesse Wells.
Slaves picking cocoa off a plant down in Ghana. Slaves, Nestle got a good deal on the farm, yeah. Slaves digging cobalt and a pit in the Congo. Slaves making environmentally friendly cars go. Slaves on the highway trying not to get in Alabama in a jumpsuit picking up random shit. slaves in plain sight in the US of A. Slaves were late at night, they let them out for the day. Slaves sewing gussets in a factory. Slaves making clothes for you and me. Slaves keep on working cause they're so damn afraid. In an Amazon warehouse out in Saudi Arabia. Oh, oh, oh.
Wow, okay. I've never heard anything quite like that before. And it's catchy, which is extremely disturbing. Slaves, shooby-doo-wop, a shooby-doo-wop, you know. And that he does a bunch of that kind of stuff here. And it's unimaginably politically pointed and skillfully expressed, actually. Even though it's so direct and there's no pretense about what it's about, right? Not at all. The song about the election here is called The Olympics. And it's all about geriatric baby boomers fucking up the world. And I mean, and one thing he says is like, and again, this sounds so much like my son-in-law, is like, we could, you had such amazing music that we could almost forgive you, baby boomers, for a situation this dire. Actually, I don't think you have to agree with all the politics to really groove on this album and find out something about what people are feeling. The first cut, I don't know if I can play this or what to do with it. I don't think I can play it and cut it off in the middle. It's called War Isn't Murder. Again, we're playing with the direct, sarcastic, ironic, or the indirect, but obvious what he's doing. You know, it's what war is a noble sacrifice, right? And it's what war is who we are. What war is it's not just murder and rivers of blood. But yeah, it is though. But I think it was, I meant to check this. I think it was about episode 12 or something like that, where we talked about a group I really liked, artist I really liked, Matt Mitchell Music Company from Spokane, Washington. They did a song, Matt Mitchell Music Company did a song called Bootstrap Nation. Go back and get that one if you haven't. How about this one, Bootstraps by Jesse Wells? And this, I mean, it shows him as a writer, I guess, you know, playing in a pretty traditional way with this metaphor, bootstraps, and, you know, working in a clever way, but also as a cultural critique, of course.
1, 2, 1, 2, go. I need some help finding the straps of my boots. Well, they evicted my flip-flops and my Birkenstocks won't do. Well, did a man-made famine shut the factory down? I know it's bad in Bangladesh, but I hate this town. I need some help finding the straps of my boots. I need some boots with straps. I'm ditching the sandals. I need heavy equipment. I need you with handles. Give a hoop and show me the straps of my boots. Lay on the front or the back, my arm and the homie matters too. There is the rain on my socks, but my calluses are getting groove. Well, inflation blew up everything but my tires. Man, I'd overdraft the bank, but the card's expired. I need some help finding the straps of my boots.
I need some help finding the straps of my boots. I mean, there's songs that are, in a way, they're easy to listen to and enjoy. When you start to grapple with the lyrics, they're hard to listen to and sort of important, I think. Like, he does a song called, and this is a lot about what he's doing, okay, Genocide Cake. And I think he's talking about the Biden administration's support for Israeli policies in Gaza. And what he says is, you're trying to have your genocide and eat it too. Like, go both ways on this. Of course, we're opposed to, civilians being harmed. But of course, we're supplying the bombs that harm them. Or his song DuPont, which is about forever chemicals. Or his song Nickelodeon, which is about all the Nickelodeon stars. Like, look in the eyes of Amanda Bynes, he says.
Nickelodeon dystopia of the late century, the orange empire, the slimy enterprise, where there wasn't much left for a person to know. If you were wondering, have you looked into Amanda Bynes' eyes? It reminds you of Judy Garland, Rip Ledger, Brandis, Rich and Heim, the Olsen twins, Macaulay, Britney Spears ain't dead, but are they really alive? Quiet on the set, too quiet, I bet they all came back to us like Vietnam vets, tired and abused, but through hell.
Eventually, all those Nickelodeon child stars came back to us like Vietnam vets and told us what it had been like. All right, that's how topical this album is. It's really good, I think. All right, let's do the shift. Always, I drop the harp. The podcasts you're listening to are too professional, I feel. Too many whoo bells and whistles and shit. All right, let's talk about Josh Morningstar and his eponymous album. Josh Morningstar is described as being from Maryland. I can't really find a whole lot of details. You may recall that last week, in CRISPR Roots 20, whatever that was, we talked about the very meaning of Maryland itself. So I'm not going to go back to that. He's a songwriter. He's associated with Cody Jinks a little bit, who I've top 10'd a couple of times and stuff over the years for Splice Today. He doesn't really strike me as a commercial writer, but this is more like a beautiful, folky country album and very writerish. Now, there are a number of songs out there about I can't write a song. A number of songs about how hard it is to write a song, or a fair number of songs about trying to write the song that you're hearing right now. All right. There's lots of novels about trying to write a novel and shit too. All right. Now that annoys me a little bit. But the first cut on here, by which I expected to be annoyed, I guess the defiance of my expectations to be annoyed is a feature of both these albums for me. The first cut on Josh Morningstar is the I Can't Write a Song. What a beautiful piece of writing it is, man, and amusing, fun, good, and even a little deep.
Staring at another blank piece of paper, 'cause the words ain't coming out. Man, fuck it, I'll write it later, once I finally figure out what I'm gonna write about, or how. I don't wanna write another song about a woman, 'cause it's been done and done to death. What if another song about a woman is all that I've got left? Why do I suddenly feel so stressed? And why's the tempo speeding up like this? And now my heart's beating out of my chest. I should probably take a nap instead of trying to find a clever line and put it next. I guess that this is where the chorus would probably go if I could write a fucking song. It'd be something catchy and they play it on the radio. You learn the words and sing along, but the melody ain't coming. This guitar part's been done and the words are all left and gone. I'd probably be alright if I could just write a fucking song. Deeper.
I should play the whole thing, man. Like, I really should. Damn. That's really good, man. It's hilarious. And, and why is the tempo speeding up right now as he speeds up the tempo? Like, how about that for a real-time song? All right. He's actually quite political, too, and probably is also a sort of bluesy guitar picker, I feel. I don't know.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, this is Get By. And this is more, fun, sort of up-tempo country that he's got going here and there. But I wanted to, just give you a flavor of this.
Big words that we live by. Yeah, crucified Jesus with a couple of thieves. Well, we don't know what we do, we just know what we need. So please, Father, forgive us for our lust and our greed. You created temptation, so how about a little empathy, respectively? I mean, if you think objectively, this is kinda your fault, 'cause this is kinda your thing. Super mega corporation CEO, 7-figure but doesn't get no PTO. Work them all like a dog, treat them all like a slave. These motherfuckers are lucky they get minimum wages. Pay keeps getting lower. Average Joe is in fear while execs collect checks for a record year. We're all just trying to make it. Yeah, we're all just trying to get by. If we want it, then we take it. Seem to be the words that we live by. Yeah, crucified Jesus with a couple of thieves. You won't believe the things we do to get the things we think we need.
Yeah, and that's political and or questioning capitalism in a pretty similar way to Jesse Wells. And this is also, quite a listenable, good, fully produced country album as well. How about just a snatch of a song called To Seek the Devil? Reminds me of Phil Oakes again or something like that.
That cold December Nashville wind cut through me slow, as if I were a piece of sheet metal, and it, an old rusty pair of scissors. Snow blanketed the ground as I walked down Music Row. numbing my feet through the holes in my boots, to the point that I couldn't even feel my blisters. I'd have given anything for a hot cup of coffee, a strong shot of whiskey, a new D-string for my guitar, or a friend. I walked into a bar on 17th Avenue called Bobby's Idle Hour. Ironic, because that's what I'd become. Idle. Running around in circles like a dog after its own tail. Anything to keep moving, because stillness seems to be failure, so I figured movement must be denial. And somehow I become alright with that. Found comfort in it. Anything to not have to admit that I'd failed. As I walked into that smoky bar room.
Well, I want to give you the flavor of that. It's a story song. He meets an old man. The old man has a message for him. Which is, be careful what you wish for, I guess. But, okay, those are two really interesting writers. Jesse Wells and Josh Morningstar. Did I say Jesse Wells from Arkansas? All right, and that is Chris Barut's 28.